Bienvenido guys, welcome to another video by your boy. Today we're going to be reacting to another death battle. It's going to be Ant-Man versus Atom. This one's going to be real interesting considering they have a similar power set, but I don't know which one is more stronger, so I'm going in this blind. So yeah, before we jump right into the reaction guys, remember to hit the like button down below if you enjoy the video, as well as subscribe. We're currently at 102 subscribers. The goal is to get to 250. So yeah, let's keep going, let's keep trucking, let's keep growing. So yeah, let's jump right into the reaction. Alright guys, let's jump right into the reaction. Like I said, this has to be their old opening, right? Yeah, because like Rooster Teeth no longer exists in this day and age.
Ant-Man, Marvel's founding member of the Avengers.
The Atom, DC's legendary Mighty Might.
Good things come in small packages.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
We're just trying to get these out of the way.
Yeah, those are terrible puns.
And
terrible.
It's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Terrible puns.
Did you know that ants
Awful
can lift
puns.
50 times their own body weight? That'd be like if you lifted a car straight over your head.
I did, thanks to my fun fact of the day calendar.
Yeah,
Also,
ants are
Hawaiian
hella
pizza
strong.
was invented in Canada yesterday.
Well, I bet your calendar didn't tell you that Dr. Henry Pym, aka Hank, was considered a genius
Wait,
at
hold
a
up. His-
very early age.
Henry? How do you go from Henry to Hank Pym? I don't know. I don't see how those two names correlate, dude. But okay.
3 years old, doctors declared that he was smarter than both his parents combined.
He eventually majored in biochemistry and became one of the most successful scientists in his field. He had big ideas about shrinking the size
He also
of
became an
cargo to
asshole in
reduce
certain
shipping
iterations.
costs. Logistics.
All of which made him a laughingstock in the scientific community and sparked a long-lasting insecurity and need to prove himself.
But he did it. He developed a working serum. He went from laughingstock to Christmas stocking. The much better stuck, right behind Bean and Life.
So, naturally, he tested the serum on himself, like any self-respecting scientist would, and shrank down to the size of an ant.
And just when things started going south, a sweet little ant, let's call her Aunt Hathaway, swooped in and
Aunt
led Hank
Hathaway.
safely back to his lab.
Okay,
where he could return to full
that's a
size.
clever
Hank
pun.
then harnessed the serum and became the superhero, Ant-Man. Along with his new identity came a fascination in entomology, which makes total sense. Ants are fascinating.
Did you know that ants can
Yeah, they're
talk
pretty
to each
cool.
other in a bunch of different ways? Through touch, sound, or even sharing information by barfing.
So they decided to go with Hank Pym rather than Scott Lang. Okay. Me personally, I kind of prefer Scott Lang Ant-Man, but that's just me.
At each other.
It's
I never
actually
really
called
liked Hank Pym.
prophylaxis, and they're not barfing.
Except the
per se. It's
MCU
more like
version, but they
passing
made him
food
an old
mouth
man
to
there,
mouth.
and he had a
Gross.
daughter.
Hank figured out how to communicate with his new
I like that
friends,
version
not
better.
by barfing, but by creating a cybernetic helmet that mirrors an ant's antenna. And he's even developed genuine relationships with some ants, like Ulysses S. Ant here.
But he didn't stop there. Hank
Ulysses
developed a
S.
lot of
Ant.
amazing tech like a steam
These
crystal that
puns are
harnesses
getting better, bro.
bioenergy into
They're
a
getting
stun
better.
beam and image-inducing camouflage to mask himself as an ant. It worked so well it fooled Reed Richards, the smartest guy on the planet.
He also built
Not
a suit
Reed.
that runs on that nifty serum he made
Not
back in
stretch-
his lab.
stretch
Plus,
however
it shrank
long you
thanks to
want,
the newly
Reed.
discovered Pym particles, named after himself. Classic Hank.
And the Pym particle
He's kind of
is the key to
egotistical a
unlocking
little
the
bit there.
fundamental constants of the quantum mechanics at play here. They enable you to decrease the distance between atoms. However, in order to do that, he'd have to change the Bohr radius, the ratio of electron mass to the distance the electrons orbit an atom's nucleus.
Well, of course. Like how when you make a bagel pizza, you can't fit the whole pizza on the bagel. Believe me, I've tried. It's too small. You just gotta put less on.
Sure, Boomstick. So the Pym particles are actually displacing mass to an alternate dimension in order to maintain that ratio.
Oh, it's like having a second bagel to put the rest of your pizza on. I get it.
But if that were true, he shouldn't be able to punch with full-size strength if he has less mass.
And he's definitely lighter, because otherwise he'd crush the sweet ants he rides, like Vincent Van
Yeah,
Gogh here.
Pym particles
His
are
mass is
weird.
being replaced with massless neutrinos, but that doesn't adequately explain how he can have less mass and seemingly more mass at the same time.
Sure it does, Wiz. Trust Pym and his particles. Look at the guy. He's explaining the whole thing while wearing a lab coat. What's more
It means he's a
trustworthy than that?
scientist, bro.
You're the exception.
You think you understand this?
Oh, of course. He's small but strong. You said something about a boar, so I guess you wanted ham on that pizza, but I already made the pizza.
Will you take that coat off?
No. Oh,
Regardless, there is virtually no limit to Hank's ability to shrink. He can go beyond subatomic down to the underspace, a plane of existence below all realities in the Marvel Universe.
and Hank
Yeah.
has literally changed his biology. He's rewritten his own chemical makeup to prevent anyone else from changing his size. And he's used Pym particles so
That's
much,
actually
he's
kinda
now
cool.
got an energy field
And
around
smart.
him that lets him change the size of people or objects on the fly, through touch or by straight up firing Pym particles in the air.
He's never shy about using them either. He eventually supplied his wife, Janet Van Dyne, with some Pym tech to become the
Wasp.
his partner in crime fighting.
The two ended up rubbing shoulders with A-listers like Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk to take down Loki. Ant-Man and the Wasp were actually the ones that captured him and pitched the idea of forming the Avengers.
Unfortunately, Hank's insecurities started to creep back in, and he felt that if he wanted to keep up with the big heroes, he was going to have to think bigger.
Enter a bunch of those Pym-powered alter egos like Yellow Jacket and Giant Man, where he can grow anywhere from 12 feet tall to so big he can enter the overspace,
Yeah.
the polar opposite of the underspace.
I forgot he had
met
different
Eternity,
identities. That's
who
kind of
called him
crazy.
Earth's Scientist Supreme. Something he won't let you forget.
Hank pushed himself to these
Ah.
insane heights, even though he
I think
knew
Reed
the strain on
Richards,
his
maybe
body could
Doctor
be fatal.
Doom could
But
be
he simply
Scientist
didn't
Supreme,
care
but
and kept pushing himself. Thus, his greatest and worst creation was born: Ultron.
Yep, all the Tin Man brawn was created by Hank, not Tony like the movies. But the mass murder butt thing turned out pretty much the same. Big swing and a miss there.
The fallout from Ultron left Hank in a bad place, to say the least. His guilt made him feel like an utter failure, and that his best work
Yep.
was behind him.
he lost
This led
himself
Hank
here.
to do unspeakable things.
A real low-life move. And even though poor mental health doesn't excuse this behavior, it was clear that Hank needed help. He suffered multiple mental breakdowns, endured the physical toll of the Pym particles, and had bipolar disorder that went undiagnosed for years.
So Hank finally did the best thing he could. He acknowledged his problems, got
Yeah,
the
and he
help
quit.
he needed, and committed to self-improvement.
And with that help, Hank slowly started making things right. He rebuilt the West Coast Avengers, gave Scott Lang his blessing
Yep.
to become the second Ant-Man.
He quit being
and
Ant-Man
finally
because of that.
defeated Ultron.
He created a backdoor Trojan infiltration code to defeat Ultron that was so advanced, it went on to replicate and evolve all on its own to create a new species made up of artificial intelligence.
They don't call him the god of modern AI for nothing. Hank has shown
Oh, right, yeah,
over
he
and over
created
again that
Ultron.
He's an integral part of the
Not
Marvel
not
universe.
Tony Stark,
Not
but
just by ways of his
Ant-Man.
scientific contributions or victories in battle, but by proving that heroes come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah. I like how they didn't shy from talking about
Ray
Hank
Palmer
being
was
kind of
born
an
your average
asshole
human-sized
in a
person.
certain part of his
He
history.
grew up in the Northeast, studied physics at Ivy University, and did
know,
everything Mama and Papa Palmer
that's
told
important.
him to do. Probably.
Everything was pretty typical for Ray until one fateful night when he took a walk to take his mind off a frustrating experiment and saw a meteor fall from the sky.
Ray
Ran off to
Palmer,
the
right?
crash
That's
and found
it,
himself
the
a
Atom.
life-changing piece of a white dwarf star, and immediately started messing around with it.
Of course he did.
Wouldn't?
He discovered that he could focus ultraviolet rays through it and shrink inanimate objects. There was just one problem. When he shrunk things, they exploded.
Oh,
Every time.
I do not see the problem. Sounds like he found
Go
a
boom,
foolproof
boom.
way of blowing stuff up. Case closed.
Ray was determined to figure out how to shrink objects without blowing them up. But first, he went on a hike with his nature club. And as a fellow scientist, I have to question his priorities.
But hey, it seems to work for him. I support it. Different hikes for different mics. Am
Yeah.
I right?
While in a cave, the
it's thanks to
ceiling
that
suddenly
that makes him a
collapsed,
little bit
trapping
more
everyone
stable than
inside.
Ant-Man.
After searching high and low for another exit, Ray found a small opening and had an idea. He could try to shrink himself down and get help, even if it meant he might explode. before
Okay,
he got
that's
the chance.
crazy.
But he didn't explode. I hope this story has a happy ending at least.
Perplexed, Ray determined there must have been something special about him that made him uniquely immune to the explosive fate. Something super scientifically convenient that we never get any more information
That's
on.
that picture's insane. What the fuck? I haven't mastered everything, just as my ex-wife. Being like someone else isn't a reason for a course of study. But I think I have a better answer. with a devious ass smile. I don't know what is up with a lot of these superheroes and just losing their goddamn mind. Like, especially like the smarter ones. The smarter the hero, the more proponent, like the higher the propensity to going insane they have, which is wild. Wild. Yeah, let's just lose our mind.
To harness the power of the White Dwarf star and became the Atom.
Atom uses the white dwarf fragment to decrease his size while having control over his density, which makes a lot of sense considering that white dwarfs have the mass of a star, like the sun, but their volume is more like the Earth's, making them among the densest objects in space.
Super
Just
dense.
A teaspoon of the stuff could weigh up to 100 tons. That's one strong spoon.
When Atom shrinks and shifts his weight, he's actually sending his extra mass to a dimension called the mass zone.
Where,
Okay, that's a
Atom
better
could
explanation
be
than Ant-Man.
forever. At one point, Ray's apprentice Ryan Choi was murdered by Deathstroke, but willed some of his mass to the mass zone and was able to survive in that dimension. So these guys can potentially cheat death, but would be stuck there without any outside help.
But from one scientist to another, what's most impressive is Ray's creation of the Bio Belt. That's what allows Atom to use the power of the White Dwarf and shrink while maintaining any weight, from immaterial to his full 180 pounds. There's
He's
even been
180?
times where it's stated that he was
Okay.
able to become almost as dense as a White Dwarf star itself for a few seconds.
The belt is also how he can travel through phone lines or through the air on currents or light beams. Over time,
That's
Ray
even
has
more
spread out
broken,
the
'cause I don't
White
think
Dwarf
Ant-Man
power
could
to
do
other
that.
parts of his suit, and now the bio belt acts as a utility belt for his shrunken weapons and tech. It also prevents his size or mass from being altered by any outside forces.
And while he can only increase his size back to his natural 6 feet in height, his ability to shrink is near limitless. He can travel between subatomic space to the microverse, the foundation of all reality in the DC universe, where atoms become the size of planets.
Typically, he can increase back to his normal size with such force he can smash through diamonds. So if Atom increases his size too much while still within the microverse, he could blow up the entire fabric of reality from the inside out.
Okay, I did
Down
not
to
know
size
that. That
means
is
he can shrink
terrifying.
Small enough to rearrange atoms themselves.
Yep, Ray can take individual molecules and
What is
rapidly
up with-
expand them to cook up a small...
What is up with these panels, man? Who are these artists, and why do they have to draw the smiles of the heroes to look so evil? Look at that. Look at that, dude. It's
nuclear
wild.
blast in the palm of his hand. Oh, Ray Palmer.
Nah.
I just got that.
He also once disarmed a bomb by rearranging its atoms. At that size, he can move at the velocity of light. So fast and so randomly, he basically acted as a barrier between any and all possible atom combinations. But
That's kinda
come on,
broken.
there's no scientific explanation here for him to have superhuman senses or awareness to comprehend being everywhere at the same time.
Ah, it makes total sense. If you're small enough, you can fit in almost everything, everywhere, all at once. Like how you can fit an entire pizza into a calzone, and then you have a whole pizza everywhere inside the calzone. Man, I get it.
That's a good theory.
Science is pizza.
No! Science is all I have! Why are you doing this to me?
On top of
He's
all
losing his
Ray's
mind, bro.
amazing inventions and abilities, he's also got some more classic weapons, like a laser blaster and a frickin' sword he used to fight a giant crocodile.
He has a sword?
Relative to his size.
That was when Ray was believed to be dead, but was actually just stuck at 6 inches tall and stranded in the Amazon rainforest, where he encountered an alien race known as the Catarthans.
And get this, he ended up leading a rebellion against their tyrant king and became the ruler of all the Kardashians.
And his
Catarthans?
heroism didn't stop there. The Atom was a very well-respected hero, and was even asked to join the Justice League of America shortly after it was formed.
He fought alongside Batman and his best bud, Hawkman.
Hey,
And you don't fight
Hawkman,
with those guys
ugh.
without picking up a thing or two.
Impressive combat skills aside, Atom's greatest contribution to the legendary team was always his incredible mind.
He once created kryptonite inside of Superman by realizing that if he gathered up enough kryptonite,
That's broken. You could do that?
They would eventually become radioactive.
While stranded in limbo, Atom realized that if the Flash sped up the rate of a nuclear reaction's stellar evolution to exhaust its core, they could turn a fire demon into a black hole and use it as a wormhole to get back to Earth.
He's a brilliant, hard-working, and determined scientist that never stops working on a problem until he's found a solution. I mean, if I figured out how to blow stuff up as well as he did, I would have stopped right there. I'm the hero that blows stuff up. Wouldn't even need to change my name.
Ray Palmer lived the dream, going from research scientist to legendary superhero. He picked up the pieces presented to him and built something greater than the sum of its parts.
Who knew this tiny titan with massive brains would have just as much brawn to back it up?
Yeah, and he's more mentally stable than Ant-Man.
It's time for a death
At least Hank
battle!
Pym specifically. Alright. So we're doing the pixel with the 3D animation. Okay, I like it.
Speaking.
How did you do this? It's laced with a particle I've never seen before.
They're called Pym particles. And I'm Hank Pym, Scientist Supreme. You should have knocked.
Okay, you don't need to mention that. That's so goofy. Okay.
You're using pieces of a white dwarf star? That's cute.
Everything we needed already existed. You just needed to be smart enough to put the pieces together. Scientist Supreme?
Damn, that's a nice burn. Oh, did he die? Oh, damn.
Did you know that at any given moment, there are about 2.5 million ants under your feet?
I mean, that makes sense, but why are you bringing that up right now?
Because his name is Ant-Man. He can control ants. The Atom has fought these creatures before when he was with the aliens.
Took you long enough.
He's invulnerable to being
Let's
shrunk.
try this.
Microverse?
I'll
Right?
hack his belt. You lay low and let me know what you find. Huh?
Nice try.
Okay. Brought out the blaster.
If I search every electron path in his gun and study their probability wave functions, I just might be able to!
Break it. Oh, they're fighting in the microverse now. Okay. They're probably really strong in this version. Is Ray Palmer slightly taller than Hank Pym?
What's happening? He must be reaching his limit. If we don't get out of here quick, he's gonna destroy all of reality. Now, my pets! You have your tricks and your tools, but I created something beyond the limits of human existence. I operate on a scale you can't even comprehend.
Overspace. The Watcher?
You can't be afraid to think big.
Oh, that's nasty, bro. He shoved ants in him? Ew, man. Okay, that's
Ant-Man and
horrific.
Atom both had many answers to each other's abilities and arsenals.
Okay.
Both were able to store various weapons at a shrunken state, both were trained in judo, and they both could obviously keep up with each other's ability to shrink at will.
Though there was one small thing Adam couldn't answer to. The ants! Hank's bond with his pets lent him some small advantages, and Ray just
That's
didn't have
crazy.
enough
Okay.
anti-ant tools
He won
to
because
fight
of
him.
ants?
But in Adam's defense, the fact that he could punch with a fist packed with all of his mass meant that a close-up fight, while small, would leave Hank with few options since he can only punch with his normal human strength.
Even still, all Ant-Man would need to do is keep his dissed ants with the help of his insect confidants and devise another plan.
God,
of
these ant puns are
attack,
gonna kill me,
something
man.
Hank has no shortage
Okay.
of.
For instance, Ant-Man could alter Adam's size thanks to the Pym particle field he generates. Hank would just need to stall long enough to remove or disable Adam's biobelt, and he's had no trouble hacking enemy tech in the past.
But even with the bio belt busted, it wouldn't stop Adam's ability to shrink since the white dwarf power is contained throughout his suit. Destroying the belt only meant that Ant-Man could alter Adam's size.
Whereas Hank has literally rewritten his own biology to prevent outside size alteration. And while Adam's abilities are definitely impressive, they are limited, and Ant-Man simply aren't. at least by comparison. Hank could always
Okay.
match Ray's size or just take the fight to the overspace where he would have the edge, both physically and mentally.
The overspace can mess with the human mind, but we've seen that Hank can handle it.
But if the Scientist Supreme is really so smart, why didn't he just immediately go up Adam's butt and blow him up from the inside?
What's wrong with you, Wiz? Aren't you a fellow man of science?
This is the meanest thing you've ever done to me.
Adam sized up Ant-Man, but in the end, he was the one who had to say, Uncle.
The winner is
This
Ant-Man.
is so dumb, bro. This is, yeah, I guess it's kind of mean.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We have a new death battle releasing every.
So that's honestly a pretty cool fight. But I guess the determining factor of the fight being ants is kind of weird. I don't know. What do you guys think? I always thought that the Atom had more capabilities to shrink than Ant-Man. I didn't know that it was so limiting, but I guess it is. If you guys think this outcome was wrong, let me know down below by commenting down below and explaining the reasoning why. I would love to know. Otherwise, this was a pretty sick fight. The 2D, 3D pixels were pretty cool. The music was okay. They didn't hit it with the music this time, but I enjoyed the video. So yeah, that's about it, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button down below. And yeah, that's about it. Adios.